Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to Alien Addict on this fine and colourful evening. And it's always a colourful evening when we have Rich Giordano in the house. Rich Giordano, welcome to the show, my goophonian friend.
I'm in the house. Welcome to my show. How you doing?
Does anybody call you Goofy?
No.
We need to start this shit.
No, don't. Come on.
We need to start Goofy.
Goofy? That's not what I want. That's not what the name is. I don't want that shit.
I just think it should be like a little bit of a nickname.
I won't acknowledge it. I'll ignore it, and it'll end.
Would you bar people?
No.
No. Okay. So when are you doing a show tonight, Rich?
Yeah.
So you know what to do, people.
Yeah, ignore him.
Goofy it is. Hey, Ben.
It's Ben Yorkshire, UK.
Ben Ponte, UK. I know Ben, and he's a spiffing fellow.
He's always at my show.
I've gone for a few beers with Ben. Ben, how you doing? Thank you for the super chat, mate. I really
have you really?
it.
You've had a few beers with Ben?
I have. I also dated his sister.
What?
True story.
This is the greatest thing ever. That's cool. Yeah, Ben Yorkshire is always supporting Goof On.
Unless it's a different Ben, then I'm fucked.
There's a lot of Bens out there. I know that.
If it's a different Ben, I haven't dated your sister, but if it's the same Ben, I have. But yes, how you doing, mate? It's a fine evening. It's a very strange one, this, because Lee's supposed to be joining us and still may be joining us, but he currently has COVID. He tested.
Sick bastard.
He tested poverty. He tested positive today. So fingers crossed. He's on a speedy recovery and he's not going to be affected too much by it. He seemed. He said, "I'm fine." He said, "I'm fine." He said, "I'm just buggered for Christmas." But you know, hopefully, he may be joining us though. He said, "I may be joining you. I don't know."
He won't. He doesn't like me. That's why he left early last show.
He left early last show because his little boy was really ill.
No, he doesn't like me. That's what it is. It's always about me.
Speaking of about you, how you been, mate?
Great. Thanks for asking.
I haven't actually spoke to you face to face in like 2
a
weeks.
Week. No, a week. Last week we did a show.
Did we do a show last week? We did a show before. Did we do a show before Ray?
Yeah. No, after Ray.
After Ray.
Oh, you're right.
No,
it was 2 weeks.
It was like 2 weeks, yeah.
Well, I have to say, you look great. I haven't seen you in a long time, but that beard's gotten thicker.
No, it actually hasn't. I've trimmed it down.
Oh, well, that goes to show you where it was at then.
Yeah, it was beefy. Now it's just like.
I look at you now and I see you with a much thicker beard. Like it was just coming in last time I saw you.
I think maybe because I've run a comb through it.
Yeah, maybe. Me too.
I appreciate that, Ben. Thank you, mate. Rich, I don't know where I'm going with it with this thumbnail. You know,
the thumbnail.
I've just realised that I've put one of the alien's hands backwards.
Yeah, but
can you see the mistake?
I see it, but it's an alien. Everything goes because nobody knows.
And they could have backward, one backward.
Don't you think that would make sense? To have backward hands? Totally much better.
They're a little bit backward. Hey, I'll tell you something. You ever heard the theory of the alien grey and the future of humanity? You know, we're always typing on computers, so eventually we're going to lose a digit.
Yeah.
This digit that we don't use. And, you know, we're always looking at screens, so as eyes are going to become more...
yeah.
You know, we don't know which way to go these days in terms of male, female. Yeah, everybody's doing all sorts of things, their own things. So we may as well just not be nothingness. So they'll lose the genitals.
You're thinking too much.
I'm just, you know, that may be the evolution. of
We've been
humanity.
looking. We've been looking at screens our whole lives.
Not that there's anything wrong with going either way, people. You know, it's absolutely fine. I don't give a monkeys. But I'm just saying, you know, in general, humanity is we're a greedy bunch. You know, we may lose them appendages.
No, we won't.
Have you ever seen an alien with a penis?
I've never seen an alien. And
Well, there
yes,
you go.
I have seen an alien with a penis.
Whose? Which one?
Mine.
Paul had a penis.
Paul's head is a penis. He's a penis with ears. You talking about the Out There channel?
Well,
Uh-oh.
I've invited him on a few times. You know,
Don't bother. The guy's a waste of space.
no, I want him to come on with you. You know, so you can.
It'll
be
never
part of
happen.
it.
Nah.
Right. It's not a show about aliens, this people. I don't know what it's a show about because it's been a while since I've done a show with Rich. I was hoping to do I was hoping for everybody to have Christmas jumpers tonight, but we haven't got Christmas jumpers.
You didn't tell me to.
No, I forgot.
I have.
forgot.
I can go get one real quick.
I tried to look.
I'm gonna do it. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'm gonna get a Christmas jumper, as the kids say
You
over
should
there.
get a Christmas jumper.
All right, I'll be right back. Like a minute and a half. I'll be right back. I already have it out.
I am not getting one.
All right, I'll be right back.
Okay, he just wants to go. He you know what he wants to do. He wants to,
Hey,
you do. I know exactly your game. We've got Keto converted in the house. My good friend Stuniverse, how you doing, my friend? Handsome man he is. He's in a few of my shows, people, from way back when. Getting drunk in the kitchen. We have Renee Cruz. How you doing, my love? She is the one and only. She's on. Ren, you put some work in on this UFO and the UFO subject. She's on every channel. My lovely Caroline in the house, who is an awesome moderator. David _ I love that name. Don't know why. It's just got such a ring to it. Dave, welcome to the show, my friend. Alien Girl 111. Guys, go check Alien Girl out. She does some great work, and she's a little bit like me because she likes to have a little bit of a tipple now and again. It is Christmas after all, though I can't have too many because I'm at work tomorrow. Adam, welcome to the show, my friend. I'm popping it up before I even read the comments. So it could say anything. It could say, Alien Addict, you're a complete dick. Then we know that's probably going to be my dad. Walt, how you doing, mate? I'm putting the replies up, and he's replying to Caroline, to Coral. Coral. It's because Rich calls you Caroline. I call you that. Walt, how you doing, mate? We are going to start the show, people. We're just waiting for Rich to get his Christmas jumper. Will Carr, how you doing, my friend? So many people coming on board on Alien Addict so early in the show. 61 people. This is over. He's here. Shh.
there it is.
Oh my God! Would you look at that? That is absolutely.
And then look at the back.
Did your mum knit that?
No, my sister got it for me online.
I'd have been really
Last
impressed
year.
if you'd have said my mum's knitted that for me.
Yeah, she did. I didn't want to say it though, but my mom knitted it all. These are from her experiences.
So, Rich, I've been literally so busy and a bit out of the field, and I only get nibbles of different shows. Literally driving to work. What is going on in the field right now? Because I get a message on my phone with Jeremy Corbell literally now saying everything. Well, no, hear me out here. He's saying everything what we're saying right now. There's a new video out and he's saying that he doesn't know what these UFOs are. Maybe we need to look more down the paranormal route.
He said that they're possibly from another reality.
Which
is
we've
what he
been
said.
kind of saying for
Forever.
so the tune has slightly changed there because he's showing you. I mean, don't get me wrong, but the way it was kind of put across from Corbell, what he was showing, it, you know, with the radar, not that that's not the radar, the radar.
Oh yeah, the bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah, the
bullshit.
That's the stuff out at sea.
Yeah, that, you know what that is? That was a flare going over the horizon of the ocean. And waves. That it's exactly what it is.
But now he's it's almost like the little clip that I've just seen. I've literally just been outside and
is that the one from Twitter?
I don't know where it came from. I didn't look at the link. I got it sent and I literally clicked on it. In fact, if I get him to talk into the mic, Jeremy,
Who?
do you reckon I'd get a strike? Do you reckon he'd get me into trouble for it?
No. I do it. Here, I'll pull it up then.
There you go.
This idea that what we're seeing are machines from other planets, I'm unconvinced. What we may be seeing is an alternate reality.
Yeah.
There seems to be another version of a reality that is occurring, and that once in a while they perforate, they pop through into our reality. And this is not just from a cursory look at the UFO phenomenon. This is from talking with thousands of close encounter eyewitnesses.
I like that. I like that Corbell there. He's saying what we've been saying for years, since we've started doing these live shows.
What, that they come from another reality?
I don't know whose reality it is, but yeah. Have we not been saying? Have we not been singing off that same page?
I would disagree and agree because, yeah, I've always been saying that they've always been here, more or less. Or, I mean, there's only 3 different things it could be. They came from their planet or another planet. They've always been here, or they're from another dimension or another reality. That's the only 3 things. And we don't have any proof of any of it. So what he's saying is can be real. Maybe, but I don't believe they're coming from other realities. I just don't freaking buy it. I don't buy into the alternate dimension or interdimensional. Don't buy it. I don't think it's possible to go from dimension to dimension. That's just me. What he's saying, he's going off the old idea that there's waves, and now that our waves are crisscrossing over each other, and there's little pieces of the alternate reality coming into view. He can't even think for himself, this poor bastard. Yeah, well, it's an old thing. Yeah, Baconator, Lee guy.
Lee, with his lovely bacon, he says Corbell lives in a reality where his BS is real.
Yep.
Where his big sausage is real.
Yep.
You know, when we talk about other people, like the big people in this world, like the Corbells, you know, the people that are
Elizondo, Dolan, Sheehan, yeah. Greer, yeah.
Sometimes I almost think, are we giving him a hard time for no reason?
No. Are you crazy? Have you lived this whole year? Did you see the videos he's put out there? I'm interrupting you. That's right. Did you see all the videos he put out?
I did. We ripped
bullshit after bullshit. He deserves all the crap he gets. He's not doing anything original, anything new. The guy's a hack. Seriously, he is. His movies suck. His comments suck. His fake acting sucks. Everything about Corbell is fake. It's all about him, and him. Nothing to do with finding the truth. This guy's such an ass.
Have you phoned him recently?
Yeah.
Did he pick up?
Last April. Yeah, he picked up. We already talked about this.
No, I know. I just didn't know if you'd phoned him again.
I did not, no. But when I do, everybody will know.
What I mean by maybe it just seems like they latch onto something. And it seems like everybody latched on to the TikTok, and they took it from there, and they just kind of like shoved it down our neck constantly. You know, I was full with TikToks. I to the point where I couldn't take any more Tic Tacs. I still don't want any more Tic Tacs. But it seems that maybe they're changing the tune. You know, the Tic Tac seems to have gone a little bit quiet. Maybe we're going to lose the Tic Tac. Would you not agree?
Tic Tac's not real.
I know you think it's China.
No, I think it's fake. I think the whole story's disinfo. Let me ask you this: How many people came forward from the Russell? You know, the big ship, the Russell, and from the other one, the Nimitz, and then you got a few other ships. The 2019, the one you showed the radar, you know, from Corbell, that is supposedly what happened with the Russell, and there was a swarm of UFOs. Yeah, that one. There's only 3 dots on there, and they're just going the same speed as a regular airplane or slower. Could be drones, but I don't think the Tic Tac's real. How many people from the Nimitz came out in 2014 and talked about it? 5 or 6 people? You can make a fake story. First it came out with Fravor, and then the radar operator, Kevin Day, and then Cahill, and then they brought in Fravor's, the other pilot, Alex Dietrich. And I think there's one more person. You could make a false narrative with 6 people that are staggered into the story.
Well, we spoke about this a few times, and I know you've mentioned it on your show. I think we've mentioned it on here that Kevin Day, as somebody who is operating a radar equipment out there, for him just to almost have a nervous breakdown after seeing these sightings just seems very odd. As somebody of that caliber that would have that type of job, to say that it just seems like an odd thing for a man just to say, you know, and break down almost over this, that has had the training, that has been trained, and that we had like probably one of the most important jobs, you know, somebody who's behind the radar, whether it be in military or whether it be in, I spoke about this, my good friend who is in the RAF, he applied for a radar job originally.
Radar operator's license?
Yeah, not for military, for commercial airline.
Yeah.
And he's well qualified for it. He's now an engineer, and he fixes planes in the RAF, and he's quite high up. But he wanted that radar operator job. But the test that he did, it was all they came back and said, look, you need to go through different ranks before you can even get there. And the level of being switched on and also being sane-headed and being able to act quick is unreal. I don't know what it's like over there, but it just seems to me, I mean, Kevin, I'm sure he was great at his job. Something may have happened. I don't believe it was the UFOs that made him turn into a nervous wreck, because he does unfortunately seem like a complete nervous wreck and somebody who you wouldn't want behind that radar, you know?
The guy,
we spoke about that.
Yeah, the guy literally had a nervous breakdown. He did drugs. He got on a drinking binge. And meanwhile, this other radar operator who was there now has gone to the way of saying, oh, we need to speak with these with our minds. He's thinking they're from the, you know, subconscious, unconscious. He's talking like Greer, the other radar operator now. I can't remember his name. I don't know why it evades me. But yeah, Kevin Day literally lost his mind because nobody believed him, he said. Nobody would believe me. Every time I tried to bring it up, they said I was crazy. Oh, poor baby. Welcome to ufology. It's unbelievable what he did. He lost his family. He lost his friends. And then one day he walks into a pub or a bar some 7 years later, and he hears that he hears somebody talking to Lou Elizondo talking about the Nimitz. And he finally had some relief after that. But I don't think it's real. I think the Tic Tac is made up.
So you think Kevin Day's in on that story?
Whoa, hold on. Sorry, I didn't know that was on. Somebody's calling me from Tucson. I had to hang up. Sorry.
No worries, mate. You think Fravor is
Making it up.
is
Where's
an
the
ally?
evidence? Where's the evidence, man?
Why? Why would they make it up?
Because of China. Because
Okay.
there's China and possibly even Russia have weapons that could possibly be in open, secured airspace when they shouldn't be. So why else would you think Lou Elizondo says they're flying in our airspace they shouldn't be in, unimpeded? We don't know how to stop them, and we don't know how to track them or anything. That sounds like a hypersonic type of object to me, going through some serious places where they shouldn't be. And we Americans had a contract with DJI drones. Not that it was commercial drones, but I'm talking the DJI was making drones for our military, and they infiltrated with the software they put in and saw where we were using those drones, and they were getting all this information on our technology and where we were flying drones all over the world probably. Why else did the U.S. cancel that contract with DJI? Because they actually said it. They're hacking our whole technology infrastructure. That's pretty huge. Everybody's forgetting about that.
So well, you've got a DJI drone, so that the
I have it, but I don't have it. I'm not a military drone. They made them for the military as well.
and they got they got cancelled.
Yeah, we canceled the contract. Our Air Force, Navy, whatever. We stopped getting drone material from DJI about a year ago or two.
Wow.
Yeah, because of the fact that they were getting information they shouldn't have. There's proof of it. Not that I have it. They said they have proof of it.
So you've got. I reckon I mean, to my knowledge, the people that have come out and talked about this, it's less than 10 people that you see.
Yeah,
that was aboard that ship.
All of them combined. There's not even 10 people that came out and talked about the Tic Tacs. Ryan Graves was another one. He was from 2019, saying he's the one who said every time we went out for 2 years, we saw UFOs.
What would be the reason behind it?
Because they want us to let China and Russia know or think we don't know it's them. So if we say it's these, we're not saying it's UFOs, we're saying we don't know what it is. How easy is it for us to deny knowing anything if we say we think it's ET craft or off-world vehicles or unknown, could be interdimensional or whatever. I mean, Lou has thrown out all aspects of ufology over the last couple of years. So
Ben's asking here, I think he's asking, isn't that why he was told to go with the story? Because he's in on it. So he knows that he's got to go in with the story.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the one who's creating, he's the new Richard Doty. He's telling us what we need to hear to not think that they know it's China or Russia.
I think he's talking about Fravor.
Fravor?
David
Fravor
Fravor
wasn't in on it. Well, he might have been in on it as an unwitting participant.
Do you remember when I
unwilling
showed...
unwitting?
Yeah.
What did I say? Yeah, unwilling participant.
Do you remember when I showed you the observation that I did of the first interview with Fravor that was on TTSA?
I do.
Where there was, I think, 19 cuts during the interview, and you said, "Well, maybe that because there was quite a bit of dead air."
Maybe, yeah.
But it was 19 cuts. You could blatantly see those cuts. Like it was almost like this. I just can't see a reason why there would be 19 different cuts to tell a story, because the story does seem to follow on. but that you can see them, the little jerks of the different takes.
I know, but sometimes when people are talking, they don't like the way they sounded, and then maybe they stop and they say, "Can we do that over?"
Yeah,
you know what
but
I mean?
It looks suspicious.
I know it does. Yeah, yeah. You ask me something, and I'll tell you the whole story without stopping. You know, that's the difference between what he did and what reality is, truth is. I don't trust the guy.
I think when it comes to something like that, I want to see the raw footage. I want to see the little, you know, if he makes a mistake in what he's like about a bit of equipment or something like, oh, sorry, I meant blah blah. I would like to see that. I don't want to see the cuts. Yeah,
I know. That's what makes a real good documentary good, you know, when you have reality there and not having to cut it to make it perfect. But I don't know, it depends on what they were going after, the narrative they wanted, what they wanted from him. Maybe it didn't work out. Maybe he was too truthful. See, I'm dyslexic too. Maybe he was.
But when he went on Tucker Carlson for the first time, you remember that when he looks literally starstruck.
I have to watch it again. I can't remember.
Yeah, well, if I'm sure a lot of people remember it. It's where he stood really straight. He looks scared to death.
You know, when I thought I was going to be on Tucker Carlson, I was already nervous before I even had an answer. I can't imagine what it's like. You know what I mean?
I remember that. Yeah,
it's nervous. I mean, it's nerve-wracking, bro. Going on a place where 10 million people are going to watch you.
Do you reckon that guy really worked for Tucker Carlson?
I don't know. I don't think so.
It seemed legit.
It did, but I don't really know. You know, I don't know. I'm just going to say it was, but I don't really know.
No one really knows, Rich.
No, that's the whole thing. Nobody really knows. And I don't like that we don't get any of the 23-minute video that Lou says definitely exists. We don't get to see the real radar, you know, from the Kevin Day, you know, Kevin Day in November 2004 on the Nimitz. We don't get anything. And the reason we don't get anything because it's not what they're telling us. I don't see what's so difficult in showing us a little bit of that. If they've already shown us the FLIR footage of a gimbal, Go Fast, and Tic Tac, whatever it is, why can't they show us what happened on the Russell? Jeremy Corbell tried giving us pyramid video, Boca, the 2 stars and the airplane, and saying this is really a pyramid UFO. My God. Well, maybe that's why Jeremy Corbell is taking this new narrative, that they're probably from another dimension or reality, because the way he was going didn't work out too well.
Hold that thought for 1 second, Rich, because I've just got to say thank you to Frapsat.
Sure.
$35, mate. Jeez,
what?
Shit the bed.
Yes,
that means a lot, my friend.
Wow.
Father Christmas sends along along for the little ones. Merry Christmas, Ollie, from me and mine to you and yours, mate.
Thank
you so much, my friend. I really appreciate that. Rich, do you not think that anything else is going to come over the next 3 years to what we've had over the last 3 years? Do you think where can they go from here?
Well, I think they're going to continue to give us FLIR footage if they give us any footage at all. But here's what's going to happen in the next year. It's going to take a good year, 6 months to a year, for the Galileo project to get going. So that won't happen until late next year. So what are they going to give us starting now through the next 6 months? They're going to have to... Okay, let me take that back. They don't have to give us anything, Ollie. You know what I mean? They can just let us... Lou's book is coming out. I know everybody's going to want to talk about that. I don't know where they can go next year. I think the only place they can go... I can't even tell you what just happened. You wouldn't even believe it.
Is it the spoon?
No, it's not the spoon. I don't want to talk about it right now. We'll get back to it. Look,
people in the chat, we need to get back to that. So remind us, we need to get back to that. What happened?
I have the green screen taped. You see it how it just came
Oh
undone?
yeah, I can see.
There's no way that could have come undone because I had a thumbtack through it and I bent the back end, but I just heard it smack against the wall.
What's
and
a thumbtack?
What's a thumbtack? It's a push pin.
What's a drawing pin?
I don't know what that is.
Look
But
at
one of these.
Yeah, drawing pin.
Yeah, push pin. Thumbtack. You Brits.
You Americans are you're so fucking strange.
Yeah. Oh, we're strange. What's a trainer?
A trainer.
Yeah,
train-
right.
You training them.
I know, but they're sneakers.
What's a sneaker?
Men used to wear rubber soles, the crooks, then they called them sneakers because you can sneak around without being heard if you wore these special shoes.
Okay, and we, so you guys were robbing shit in them, and we trained in them.
Trainers is a newer term than sneakers.
Yeah, because, so you're telling me that the original meaning behind the word for a trainer is a sneaker because people were robbing shit. These shoes were originally designed to commit crime.
Gangsters wore them so they can sneak up on their people and cut their throats or use piano wire.
Amazing.
Anyway, that's what I was told growing up. Always wear your sneakers if you're gonna kill somebody.
Is it spelt the same? Sneaking?
Yeah, Sneakers. But some people call them tennis shoes now. You gonna put your tennis shoes on? No. Trainers. I like trainers. I don't hate it. And what is the other one? What is this called? The shirt?
Jumper.
Jumper. Why is it a jumper?
I got no idea actually why it's called a jumper.
Yeah, I like it though.
Why don't you try jumping in it?
I did. How did you think I got into this?
You call them sweaters.
Yeah.
That makes sense because you sweating.
You do.
Yeah. Well, you do in the States, but here, yeah.
You're jumping around. You're trying to keep warm.
Got it.
I don't know where we're going, Mr. Alien Addict, with the show. That's okay to have off conversations about things. I know.
You don't know where we're going. I don't, Rich. I don't think anybody does, but I'm just wondering if it'll get any more interesting than what it's already got over the last 3 years. Because it really, at one point, I think I even said to you, Rich, you might have to eat your words. It seems like we're going to get something, but then it just went, and it was just like, we got a document that a few people got excited about.
We got a 9-page book report is what we got. It was nothing. You talking about the 180-day dump?
Yeah.
And then what happened after that? Remember they said that was just a preliminary?
Yep. Nothing.
And what came out after that?
Well, if it did, it passed me straight by. But
next year is going to be more Galileo, Lou Elizondo's book, the AOI MSG, that's the new office that they put in replace of UAPTF inside the Pentagon, in the office of the DOD. That is not going to give us any transparency on UFOs, even though they say it is. It isn't, according to Lou. And Lou said it's unfortunate that that office is going to be in my old office with the same old tactics and the same old routine. Cover up, cover up, cover up. You're not going to get anything. So everything Lou was said that he was fighting for didn't go through. Lou has failed ufology more than anybody in the shortest amount of time. I mean, he's like an Angeli type of guy, type of person. Making all these claims but not coming through with anything.
I asked Ray Hernandez about Lou. I think you were in the chat, but he almost kind of just, he didn't fob it off, but he didn't kind of give me the answer that I was looking for, because I thought that he would basically say that he thinks he's full of shit,
Yeah.
But he didn't say that.
Because he doesn't know.
No, I know he doesn't know. Nobody knows. You don't even know. I don't know. We make assumptions. We have a guess at what
Well, I guess upon the results that he's given us, and I don't see any. I see everything going for Lou.
they may
Lou's
all be in the
popularity.
book.
Huh?
They may all be in the book. Maybe the book has all the answers.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
See,
Like
see that? I don't read books, but I'm wondering how much content there is to this book. You know, is it just gonna go over all the kind of like Nimitz stuff? Is it gonna go into what Lou's been doing, leading up to it, how it's affected Lou's life? What's it gonna be?
I know. Apparently, there's going to be some information in that book that is supposed to be world-shattering type of bullshit. I mean, this guy's he's a salesman now. He's in it for himself. All these guys are. Look, Lou did nothing for ufology except one thing. Get on mainstream media every other day for a couple of years. Well, especially from December of last year till June 25th, when the dump went, the 180 days was over. The day after, here on YouTube, everything went back to normal. You know, there were no more getting 250 people during a live show. You know, there wasn't a lot of new subs anymore. Everything just seemed to stop because it's all part of the narrative. And then we haven't had anything. Nothing. It went really quiet. What has Jeremy Corbell given us? Remember what he said earlier in the year? This is only the tip of the iceberg. Yeah, I guess the iceberg melted.
Something was meant to hit this month.
This month?
Something was big going to come out in December.
That was November.
What was it? What hit?
Apparently nothing. It was the new Office. That's what happened this month, was the new Office. Lou thought he was going to get his new Office in there. That's the only thing I can think of, because nothing else has been talked about that's coming out. Apparently there was supposed to be this groundbreaking thing that was supposed to happen before Thanksgiving. It didn't happen. It's just the same thing we hear every year. Every year it's the same thing. Oh, we're going to have disclosure. We're going to have disclosure. We're going to have disclosure. And nope. Well, we're going to get part of this, and that's going to be the disclosure. Drip, drip, drip. No. Nothing. Not one thing, Ollie, looked like a UFO, acted like a UFO, or was a UFO. End of story.
No, I completely agree with you. And I think the community is. I think the community is frustrated, but I think some of them will not say it because they've already invested. I don't mean that financially invested, like
yeah.
I mean they've already said their piece. So, you know, I'm not going to go back on that because I've said this and I've got faith in that now because I've already invested. I'm in with this, and I've got the faith, and that's what it's about, Rich. These people have faith in these people. These people have faith in the Lous of this world, that he will deliver.
Well, this is what I'm talking about tonight on my show. You know, why do we give these people any room? Why do we believe? Why? You know why? Because who else is going to be on TV talking about it? Hopefully these guys will spill the beans, but they won't. Nobody will.
This is what people don't get, Rich. They think that you want him to fail. They think that I want him to fail. We don't want him to fail. Absolutely not. What we're saying is that we don't entirely trust the man. And rightly so.
We didn't just not trust him.
Why should we trust him? Come.
Yeah, we didn't just not trust the guy out of the gate. We gave him a chance, and he kept saying this, that, and the other thing, and we got nothing, and more nothing, in my opinion. No, not even in my opinion. It's a fact. It's a fact. What I want to know is, what is Lou's background before he got into ATIP before 2008? I know he's a counterintelligence agent and all that stuff, but I want to know, what he was doing before that, because according to Lou, he said he wasn't even into UFOs. You know, he had a general, curiosity like a lot of people do, but he wasn't a researcher. All of a sudden he gets taken out of his counterintelligence, whatever uniform and put into a UFO room to study with ATIP. A guy who knows nothing about UFOs. That to me just tells me that if he doesn't really know anything and they just put him in there, he's basically a PR guy. That's all. Lou's a voice. That's it. A talking head. Talking in ways that are, a script, more or less. Say this, Lou. Memorize it. When you go on Tucker, I want you to hit it on these 3 points. Hard. And I want you to come out saying, if they ask you, do you believe that the U.S. has UFOs, in some sort of hidden basement? Well, I can't answer 100% on that, but I believe that the U.S. has UFOs in their custody. Yeah. I believe. Yeah.
What would, is there, and don't take this the wrong way, Rich, but...
Oh, I don't.
Is there anything or anybody that or anything that's happening that you're excited about when it comes to this field? Anything?
No. Not
Lou
even the
Kardashian.
Galileo project. Oh yeah, right, Lou Kardashian, because Lou, he's always talking. And
I heard it
really,
on your show the other day. I think Lee said the same thing.
He's reminding me to call him Lou Kardashian. I keep forgetting.
I wonder if Lou knows she's calling that.
Well,
I wonder if Lou watches your show.
I think he does. And I think he referenced it without saying the name of the show. In one of his interviews, he said, there are some people or podcasters or whatever, and then he says, I'm not going to name any names, who think that what we're doing here isn't really what we're doing. Basically saying what we say almost verbatim. It was weird. I'm like, oh my God, he's talking about GoofOn.
And you're like, just fucking name me, Lou.
Just say it. Say it.
Say the words.
That would be so wild if he did. I mean, I don't have proof of it, but it was almost exactly word for word for what we say we believe Lou is doing. It was kind of cool. There's a lot of people. It's not just GoofOn or anybody else.
I know. There's plenty of people. I mean, Scott is, he's not a fan at all.
Area 503, same thing. Manny, he does not have any love for Lou.
Dark Sky, not Dark Sky. I don't know.
Dark Sky Files does not like?
No,
Lou.
Dark Sky. No, he doesn't. But Dark Hour.
Michael,
he does. What's his impressions of Lou?
He doesn't really. He doesn't. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think he trusts him, but he's not really into it, like that part of it, like I am.
Third Phase don't really make it known that much other than that call like they did with Stephen Greer on the show, but they haven't really called out Lou other than that, have they?
Yes and no. I can't tell you anything, but when Above Top Secret comes out in February, their new documentary, you'll definitely get to see what they think.
Oh, so they are going to call him out.
Oh, I don't know if they're calling. I know, but you'll have to watch it.
I know what they think.
No, you don't. You'll see in the video. It's amazing. Lou's not going to like it.
Good.
But yeah,
that means I will.
But obviously, this was done at a time. This was made when Lou was calling Dr. Greer a terrorist and a baby and a crybaby.
That was on whose show was that on now?
Sold Out Radio.
Spaced Out Radio.
SOR. Isn't
Yeah.
it Sold Out? Sold Out, right? Oh, Spaced Out. Yeah, I forgot.
I'm going to get Dave on
Yeah, you should. Be a good interview.
with you.
No, that'll never happen.
I'd love to get you both in the same rooms together.
No, it's over.
Yeah, Lee has just messaged me, by the way, people. He can't make it. He's
I told you he hates me.
he. Oh God, yeah, you're right. You're right.
I know.
Here we go. I'll read it to you. I feel fine. Not affected by COVID in the slightest, he says, but I just hate Rich. Got a little. No, he's going to bed because yeah, he feels a bit beat. He's a bit. It's fucked him a little bit. So yeah, he's off to bed. I don't blame you. Get well soon, my friend.
Yeah, get better.
YouTube's probably gonna fuck me for saying that when I was it was a joke. YouTube, it was a joke. Don't I'm not saying anything bad about anything.
Alien Girl. When Dave and I did shows together, it was good. It really was. It was good. It didn't get much better than that. Let me just tell you that. I miss that. I miss having that camaraderie. But the one thing about it is, I just can't be with somebody as fake as that. I'm gonna fake their friendship. It's a long story, people.
Have even you given each other like a snippet of an olive branch? No.
Third Phase of Moon tried.
What did they fall out with Dave, or did they try?
No, they're still friends with him.
Oh, so they tried to kind of like
They asked Dave
in the middle. Yeah,
they asked Dave, would you consider? And Dave said, no, I'm done with him. And when I heard that, I'm like, okay, so good. All right, I'm done with it then. So that was it. Hey, man, sometimes things just don't work out even after 5 years.
Is that how long you were doing stuff to the friendship had gone on for?
Yes, and it was a battle even then. I had many people telling me you're mixed in with a compulsive liar. This guy lies every step of the way. And I'm like, but he's treating me nicely. He's not lying to me that I know of. And that's how I go about my relationships. That's why I'm friends with Third Phase of Moon, because I don't go by what other people are saying. Because I like them for how they explained everything. To me, it made sense. And, say what you want about Third Phase of Moon, but everybody's got it wrong. Ollie, I think you know that too. These guys aren't bad people. They're not hoaxing anything. There was one time they made a mistake, a very big one, and then there were a lot of other videos early on with Third Phase that were curious. It's like, come on, that looks like a Star Wars action figure thing, But what happens in ufology, you realize that doing the right thing is better than posting anything up. So they changed their ways about 5-6 years ago and decided to do things as perfectly as possible. And that's what I saw.
Do you think anybody's done justice when they've interviewed Lou that you've seen?
Yeah, well, you see, the thing is with Lou, from what I learned, especially when he was on SOR and another show, is that Lou has his people, his handlers, I guess, that may talk to you before the show and give you things to talk about, questions that you can ask and tell you what not to ask. So that bothers me. But there was...
Yeah, that bothers me as well.
Dr. J interview, when he was on with Dr. J Radio Live, was really good. And also, that SOR interview wasn't bad at all. That was pretty good. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched probably half of it. That was done really well.
Have you ever had a guest come on that's given you instructions to how you're supposed to interview them?
No. There. I used to be with a book company. Can't remember the name. When I was with the AZ UFO show, my old show, and they would send you a guideline of questions that they can answer very well, and then they give you the book to read and a couple of notes. But I never followed it.
See, yeah. I almost expected that when when Tyler came on the show, and I said, is there any? He says, no, just ask me what you want.
Yeah, you know what? People don't have to answer. That's the best thing about it is. And Michael Schratt was on with the panel a couple of months ago, and I asked him a question, and he says, "Yeah, I just don't know." Yeah, all right. I like that. Just say you don't know or you can't answer it. It's an interview.
Yeah, but so his interviews. So when people are interviewing prior to the interview, they get strict instructions for questions that they are allowed to ask and not allowed to ask.
Who?
When interviewing Lou.
Yeah, 100%.
That doesn't sit well with me, that, at all.
I know. It shouldn't sit well with you. Because doesn't that tell you one thing? The same thing I've been saying for a year and a half, 2 years? It's a script. They go off a script. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand it as that he could be asked the question and say, look, I can't speak about that because I'd be breaking blah blah blah, you know. But to get given a strict instructions to what? Do you know what these instructions are? Has anybody told you the actual full instructions to what the brief that they're given before they interview Lou?
It goes something like this. Here's the questions that we want you to ask Lou. Try not to go off these, and that's it. Just stick to this, and everything will take its, And then what happened is Third Phase of Moon, already before Lou came on, asked Dave if they could ask a certain question. So Dave did, and Lou started stuttering. He couldn't speak for a second. You can see him get angry. And then he said, "No, I don't negotiate with terrorists." That. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Rich, what's up, man?
Hey, Rich.
Hold on, I'm gonna fix my screen.
Rich, hi, Rich. I don't know why that tickled me. Mr. Catfish, thank you very much for the $2 super fat. Third Phase of Moon are only ones truly researching the subject. Okay, yeah, I love them boys. Do you know what? They have done a massive U-turn. I'm proud of them for that, I have to say. And hopefully Blake and Brent's going to come on at some point in the near future, just before they launch the new documentary. Rich, how are you, mate?
I'm great.
How are you?
Really good.
What do you what do you think about? You've been watching the show? I've seen you in the chat. What do you think of Rich's views on Lou and?
Well, there's been some recent revelations, hasn't there? Somebody was coming out on, I think it was Reddit, and they were saying that they were a disinformation agent, and that they had been on the unexplained documentary and they were billed as some official that they were talking to, that Lou was talking to, but apparently they weren't that official. They were actually somebody that was asked to speak to Lou because, or they were told to speak to Lou because they wanted to know more about ATIP and what went on. They were quite curious, and they wanted to do UFO type research. And they said that the back of their head had been used disingenuously in the unexplained videos, you know. It's interesting, but obviously if somebody's claims to be a disinformation agent, they could be doing disinformation themselves, you know. So I know Black Vault has been involved in that, and so John Greenwald's been trying to track this person down in terms of his veracity, and he seems to say that this person is saying who they are, but he's protecting their name. It's fascinating that, because he might be protecting this person's name, but if you are genuine in your accusations, surely you come forward and do that. Otherwise, you're being libelous and you're hiding, you know. So it's interesting. I can see both sides to this. It certainly muddies the waters. It doesn't make things any easier for us to trust what Lou says. But I can also see that this could also be a narrative that's being pushed by the television producers rather than Lou himself. Certainly it wasn't Lou that said that, you know, so it is what it is. It muddies the waters.
It's far too much mud in the waters. Third phase of the moon, I appreciate that, my friends, and Merry Christmas to you boys. When you, I did see you in the chat, Rich, and when Rich was talking about it being China, with the Tic Tac and what have you. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh well,
because you said no, it's I saw it. You said you don't think it's China or Russia.
I don't think they've got the resources. I just don't. I think when you're looking at, when we're talking about things traveling at hypersonic velocities and changing directions abruptly, the only way that you can ever do that using conventional thrust that we have at the moment. When
were there ever any videos of objects changing direction?
Oh yeah, I agree. We don't see that, do we?
I know. We just hear stories about it.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I would have forgotten if I didn't say anything.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I get what you're saying, and we don't actually see that. My understanding is that the Go Fast video, apparently they cut it before it does change abruptly.
Of course they did. Yeah. Well, they need to show us so I can have a different opinion on it.
Exactly.
I only go by what they show us, man, and what they tell us. What they're saying. What they're saying and what they're showing doesn't match up. Doesn't that seem weird?
It does, yeah.
Well, we was promised like a longer video from the Tic Tac.
23-minute video.
And it's never, I mean, it may come out. Abilene, thank you very, very much, by the way. And a Merry Christmas to you and your family. I appreciate that. Awesome, my friend. Yeah, it's never appeared. And it's been, how long's it been since the original Go Fast and Tic Tac and Gimbal?
To 2017.
I mean, the interesting one to me was it was a bit of a slip during the Phenomenon video where they were interviewing Chris Mellon. I think when he was talking about this thing changing directions, and what he said was that the Go Fast video was much longer. He said it showed direction. It showed changes in direction. But and I think everyone's missed this. He said, but for some reason they didn't release that. Now who's they? I thought he was the one that was the architect of all of this.
The Navy is
the
they.
one that picked it. Yeah,
it would be the Navy. Yeah.
Yeah. So who is they that's holding this back and making the decisions behind the scenes on all of this? The narrative is that him and Lou are the whistleblowers, but it's clear that it's not quite that, isn't it?
I don't know anymore. I don't think they have anything really.
We don't know who to trust, where to look.
Well, there's a whole fleet of them over there, but they don't show us the whole fleet of them over there.
Yeah, look on the ASA.
Yeah. Yeah, you sounded like him.
I asked Goof on Rich this same question, Rich. Where do you see this going in there? So we've had 3 years of what seemed, I mean, as much as we may take the piss out of it and diss it, and if people might say that we're a little bit negative with it, we're probably just a little bit like fed up of it because we feel like there's a promise there that they're not delivering on. But don't get me wrong, the past few years have been quite exciting. It seems like I'm not taking that away from what's happened at all. UFO Twitter, I'm not taking that away from you at all. But where do you think this is going to go? Do you think this is just going to this is it now? It's just going to settle down, and it's just going to go back to the day job and back to to just reporting the odd UFO sighting, or do you think it's going to ramp up again?
Well, I think there's going to be isn't there meant to be 200 gigabytes of data being dropped sometime in spring?
Apparently,
that's going to be interesting, because I don't think it's we've been looking to the military for this all of the time, and it needs to be wrestled out of the military hands and handed to the scientists. I've always said it that it's no good being kept under wraps, whatever it is. But I get the feeling that, okay, so if Lou is saying that he believes that there are materials and bits of evidence knocking around, even if it's true, I'll be surprised if we've managed to glean anything of any importance out of it. And I suspect that the real crime has been probably the amount of money they might have wasted trying to work this out behind the scenes.
Do you think they've actually wasted a lot of money trying to work this out behind the scenes?
Possibly.
Or do you think we're just told about how much money's gone into it?
Well, I don't think we have. I mean, you can talk about ATIP, and maybe ORSAP is probably the same amount again, maybe less, I don't know. But at the end of the day, that's the money that we know about. What we don't know is the proper black stuff, and it might be that they just got fragments of stuff that they're just staring at and going, well, we don't know what the hell it does.
Rich,
and that's the best case scenario, I think.
Definitely, yeah. Rich, what is this that Third Phase and Moon are talking about here? Is this something that is? I don't know about this. Were they going to be in unidentified with Tom DeLonge?
I don't know. I didn't know. I don't remember.
They put not good news. We were dropped for unidentified. Tom DeLonge's show, very sad.
Yeah, I know. I don't remember having that conversation with them being on their show, on that show.
That is sad, because I think Third Phase and Moon would be good for if Tom brought them in. I think he needs that right now. He needs something.
They could have told me, and I just don't remember. But yeah, they've had things like that happen to them over the years. It's very, very sad. They're the only. I mean, seriously, they're the ones who are always bringing the UFOs to the forefront, whether you like the videos or not. Those are the unidentifieds that people are capturing and sending into them. So if we ever saw anything like that from, what's his name, Corbell, he might be a little different. And people might look at him a little differently, I mean.
Yeah. Well, I mean, greetings, Stephen. Feel free to join the show, my friend. I'll send you a link if you're out and about. Stephen's doing some great work. Got a fantastic show.
Stephen who?
Cambion.
Oh, Cambion. He's here?
Truth Seekers. He's in the chat, yeah.
Cool.
He's in the chat. Speaking of chat.
I'm looking for some information I thought would be good for the show, and I, for some reason, can't find it. That's why my head is down.
I think the interesting thing, though, is the Galileo project. I think that's going to be the biggest disappointment. I think they're going to rely too heavily on AI, and I think AI is going to let people down badly because of the amount of time it takes to train a machine learning algorithm to do its job properly. I think they're going to be plagued with excessive amounts of false positives.
Yeah.
And so maybe 6 months to set up the infrastructure, and 2 or 3 years to train the algorithms properly.
So you've got faith,
Yeah.
Rich. You've got faith that this is, something's going to happen.
It could. I just think it's going to be longer than everybody thinks, and I don't think the Galileo project's doing the right thing. I don't know. As I say, I think there's too much credence placed on AI. I really do. And I don't know how.
Well, if we're trusting in AI that could possibly have a narrative it's been programmed with in the first place, to whatever they want to show us or not show us. And thank you, Mr. Catfish, for that. And yes, the boys are beautiful. Boys, come and join us. I don't trust anything whenever the word AI gets brought into it. I don't trust that because I know the people who control the AI.
Well, I've worked with machine learning algorithms, and I know how hard they are to get right, even with the simplest of data.
But if they're programmed by the right people, to for their benefit, the data that we get, they're going to show us the data. How can we trust that data is correct?
You can't.
Well, we can trust that the data is correct because it will be collected. Now, how it's interpreted, that's perhaps another thing. You can sit there and say, and you can see a trace going across there, and you can go, well, it's traveling at this speed and it's going like this, so we think it's a UFO, and it could be something else. It's the interpretation of it that's important, and that's what an algorithm's meant to do. It's meant to take data and it's meant to say, okay, this data, we've taken radar data, sensor optical data, and we've got this telescope, and it's all pointing in the same direction. We've caught this, it's moving this speed, it's this temperature, it's this height, etc. We've worked all this out, and therefore this object is a UAP. It's not a plane, it's not a bird, it's not this, it's not that, it's not that. You know what I mean? And that's how they do it. They'll do it by elimination. They'll say all of these other things that we've got are all these have got different properties. It doesn't match all of these, and therefore it's something that we don't know. That's all they're going to tell us, and it might be that they've just not trained the algorithm correctly.
Thank you, Rich, for that. Boys, welcome to the show.
What's up, guys? How's everybody doing over there? Good to see you, Rich.
Hey, Blake.
Goofon and Rich.
Hey, what do you say to
We made it.
Merry Christmas, boys.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas, chaps.
What is this that I'm hearing, Blake, in the chat, that you guys have been dropped from unidentified?
Well, I think it's about it was about 3 months before A&D and the History Channel said that they're going to be coming out with this new series called Unidentified. But prior to that, we were in close talks pretty much on a daily basis with the History Channel and a producer over there. And they were definitely inclined to do the Third Phase of Moon TV show where we'd go across the United States, boots on the ground, investigation with the people that shot the videos, and, do a TV show, Third Phase Moon style, but on cable television. We were right there. We were slotted. We're just about to have the TV show. Our producer was excited. We were excited. We thought this was going to be kind of a groundbreaking thing for television, dealing with the public evidence. And then all of a sudden from the producer, we got the bad news one day, and they said, well, there's this guy named Tom DeLonge and Lou, and they're going to be looking at UFO videos in an office. And she's saying it sounds really boring. They have these blurry black and white videos, and they're just studying. So she must have seen what they're looking at. And this was before, the Go Fast and everything was leaked. if I'm correct.
Not quite. No.
Not quite. They're still leaked. Did Tom DeLonge?
They're just going over those old videos.
And they're just saying they're going over these old black and white videos, and there wasn't much going on. And she was sad that they took the show. So Unidentified took over. And from what we're hearing, too, is that actually Tom DeLonge funded the whole series. Usually a company or a cable network will actually produce the episodes. But in this case, it seemed from what we're hearing, I don't know if I'm accurate on this, but from what we've heard is that Tom DeLonge actually produced all the episodes. So A&E says, well, hey, we don't even have to produce anything.
Wow.
This would be a lot cheaper than sending the Cousins brothers around the country. And why not just let them fill a slot in? So it's kind of like forced down our throat, some of this, the Unidentified show, where actually Tom DeLonge paid for the production of it, and then they just said, well, here's a slot. And it's interesting, after Unidentified came out and was shown to everybody, that by the first 2 episodes, you realize there's going to be nothing that was going to give us any kind of disclosure. And it was just kind of a threat-based narrative to scare everybody. So I think it would have been a lot more exciting if the Third Phase of the Moon, TV show would have got boots on the ground across the United States dealing with the people. People say, why don't you investigate all these UFO sightings? You guys should go to the places. It's like, well, could you imagine the time and effort and financial cost it would incur on the Cousins brothers to go around the United States to every single, great looking UFO video that the public captured? It's pretty much impossible. And with the help of like a major network like A&E, they would have been actually able to help in that cause, no doubt about it.
So Blake, you guys were Stephen Camby and you sexy man. Welcome to the show.
I'm so happy to finally be on your show. I knew it was going to happen like this, just as spur of the moment. And damn it, I've been listening, and Blake and Third Phase of Moon just got along, and that sucks. Nice to meet you. And Rich, that I don't know. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Oh, that Rich. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the other Rich. The bald one.
Hey, yeah.
Blake's just explaining that they were dropped from Unidentified.
Yeah, Tom DeLonge cheated by financing the whole thing himself, and that's not fair. That's not fair competition in the marketplace, but this is what we get from DeLonge. Right. Win at all costs, right? I still want to know where the goddamn spaceship he promised all those investors is for $35 million he raised. There's no spaceship. None of the stuff he promised ever happened. And he's selling his fake arts parts, which he bought from Linda Moulton Hale. It's garbage. That stuff is garbage. It was proven garbage 15 years ago, and now he's recycling that and trying to make money off of it again. He's not to be trusted. He's hanging out with all these counterintelligence people. The board of TTSA was filled with over 100 years combined experience of CIA. That's not people you should trust about UFO truth. Just my opinion.
Well, Third Phase, you guys called out Lou on your show recently, and me and Rich were speaking about this.
We didn't call out Lou. Well, I know Rich definitely calls out Lou, and Rich has got his style about it.
He's got less filter. Blake's more diplomatic about it.
Yeah, but we questioned Lou, and when we've had opportunity, because we've spoken with Lou's manager personally, that books all the shows for Lou, and we've met him in person in Los Angeles, and we said, why doesn't Lou want to come on Third Phase of the Moon? Let's just we're going to ask questions, and it's not going to be anywhere out of the ordinary than any other podcast that he's been on, except
and quite possibly the biggest UFO show. So the biggest UFO show on YouTube. Why would he not want to do the biggest UFO show on YouTube? Makes no sense.
Well, I think he's afraid of the questions that we would ask.
Same
and if
for me.
Drop the ball, there's going to be a lot of people watching it. But when we've had the opportunity, when he's on other podcasts like Dr. J Radio Live and Dave Scott Spaced Out Radio, that we were able to actually get into the podcast, invited by Dr. J and Dave Scott, to get questions into Lou without any kind of background. So we're able to actually get our questions in a few times.
I did that. I did that when he was on Theories of Everything with Kurt. I asked him why he doesn't just release his tax returns, and he didn't like the question. He did not like that question. And we can see what happens. And I've seen you do the same thing. You send in a question to somebody. He does not like those unplanned questions.
Well, I think that's true, but to a certain point, from what we've heard from the producer, is that they love our questions because you could tell by after when Lou actually answered or tried to answer our questions, he felt that he actually accomplished new language, and he was actually had to train himself on how to take these kind of questions. And as he dodged and weaved through the question with not much of an answer, he kind of felt, hey, I got through this, and he felt accomplished. You could feel that he was.
He's a king of talking for an hour and not saying anything. Come on.
Best.
Yep. He's the best at that. I want to know where the alien organic samples are. He says these things and then he runs away and hides behind an NDA. Come on. If you really cared about disclosure, burn that NDA and tell us where the alien samples are and the alien spacecraft and all this stuff that you allude to but never proved.
Like I've always said about Lou is, if you can't bring it to the table, you should have never have come out at all, because he's going to keep weaving the same story over and over in a circle that really leads to nowhere. And what's pretty incredible, like you were talking about earlier, Rich, where we have this dynamic discussion and bring forth in our new documentary coming out in February 2022, Above Top Secret, the technology behind disclosure. We weave the story between what Dr. Greer's response to Lou's accusations, including even opinions from John DeSusan Goodall in regards to this, in-house fighting between, Dr. Greer and Lou Elizondo, among others. Because when
I think they should have a boxing match.
What's
that? They should have a boxing match for charity.
Yeah. Greer's not afraid. Greer approached Third Phase Moon and said, "Hey, look, guys, you guys got to get off the pot. You guys are, not doing this properly." And he called all these guys out. He called out Corbell, Nick Pope, Lou Sheehan, Lou Elizondo, and we reached out to all of them. And they're too afraid to get in that ring with Greer. What does that say?
Yeah, I followed that. I followed you doing that. That was good work.
Corbell got angry.
The day after Stephen Greer, but the drama's fun. I'm like Ollie. I'm very fascinated by all the characters in this stuff. So
that's my thing.
Even if I don't even if I disagree with most of Stephen Greer, that was beautiful that he, trashed all them and then they wouldn't say anything back, and some of them are trying to be diplomatic and they're trashing each other. It's wonderful.
Thank you.
Right. Greer was ready. Was Greer ready for that? Did he say to you, "I'm ready to go whenever he's ready"? Like he had the boxing.
So Greer made this statement and gave us the video to release, and then immediately afterwards we had a discussion with Greer and said, "Hey, look, Greer, this would be great propaganda." And the word means propaganda. It doesn't mean deceitful in any way. It creates a promotion and basically promoting this whole discussion, debate. So the propaganda word kind of caught Greer's his interest. Like, okay, yes, I will come on your channel and debate all of them if they agree to come. In the beginning, Greer was like, kind of didn't even think of the idea until I, mentioned it to him, and he 100% agreed, and he's still ready. He was ready to come on Third Phase Moon. That's why we reached out to everybody, and we got everybody to respond via indirectly or directly to Third Phase Moon, declining to be on this discussion with Greer. And some of them were hostile, some of them were very rude, and some of them came out with reactions that are pretty amazing. So a lot of that will be shown on the new documentary we're coming out with.
Don't you think some of this is all competition? Like, don't get your UFO truth from that guy. Get it from me. Buy my book. Buy my documentary. Buy my stuff. Those guys are fakes and this and that. Not me. We see a lot of that.
Yeah, we had the open discussion and the open invitation and the presentation that I gave forward to all the 5 people that Dr. Greer called out was basically very professional. I just said we're just.
I know
you
like thread that needle. You thread that needle beautifully. I'll give you that. I will give you that. You thread that needle beautifully. You're very diplomatic about it. Like, hey, we just want a reaction. We want to know what you think. You're invited to be here. They chose not to do it, and I think that reflects poorly on them.
Appreciate that. That's our goal at Third Phase Moon. It's more of a, a community that we all should be working with. But hey, there's people that just will refuse to combine efforts, and I think that's their loss, in my opinion. And then at least we know who these people are, so they expose themselves. And I think it's important that once we know who's exposed, we can move along and understand, why these guys are exposed and what their agenda is, loud and clear.
Or you expose them and they copyright strike your videos and have them taken off of YouTube.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Louise Mitchell, thank you very much for that very generous £20. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Merry Christmas to you. Blake, we've been speaking briefly, me and the two Riches, about the two Riches, that's got a ring to it. What the last 3 years, as much as we have ridiculed it, and we've had a lot of frustrations for the last 3 years, but it has been exciting. What do you boys think's going to come in the next 3 to 4 years? Do you think that there's going to be anything major that we're going to get?
It's a good question, and I don't think this office that's going to be implemented is going to bring anything. I think we should just totally forget the office. Decommission that whole idea, save the taxpayers a lot of money. If there's going to be any kind of disclosure things that make you wonder whether we're alone in the universe, it's going to come from the public, and I think Third Phase Moon is going to bring it. It's the same thing as usual. We're just bringing you the evidence, and I think disclosure's already happened. There's so much evidence out there that there's high technology, whether it's ET in nature. I really don't care about that too much. I just care about the high-end technology and implement that. Then we could find out where that's from, and we could all speculate where this high technology came from. But things are happening in the sky, and the technology remains a phenomenon, and we need to find out what that is. That's the number one point, and that's our goal at Third Phase, is just to reveal the phenomenon of the technology and bring that out. We've been in discussion and close talks, and I think we had a good click with Avi Loeb when we had him on the show. We have some close friends that work within the Galileo project, and we're working on possibly doing a feature on that and a special. And if they hold their word, like I held to Avi, that don't let the government come in and tell you, hey, look, this is top secret, so if your telescopes pick up on this, you can't report back to the people. Well, the good thing is, and I think me and Avi have a agreement upon, is that the Tic Tac, whatever it is, according to the government, they say they don't know what it is, so that's not off limits for the Galileo project. They have the full rights to go after, capture it, and reveal it if they can, without any kind of, implication of violating national security or top secret, because the government's already admitted they don't know what it is, so therefore non-liability. But I do have a concern that they may come in and tell Avi, hey, look, you can't report back on this with this certain signature because this is ours. And
that's why Elizondo and Mellon are there.
Defeat the whole purpose.
He needs to get rid of Elizondo and Mellon.
It's going to defeat the whole purpose. And Avi says, as of this point, he has not been approached. And so Avi says he's transparent. That's the whole thing. He doesn't care about the government. So maybe something, hopefully, will come from the Galileo project.
They're government guys, though, man. They're already in.
I have higher hopes for the Galileo project than I do this new government program, because what people need to understand is that one of the people that's going to be in charge of the transparency of the new government program, her father worked for the NXIVM sex cult, and her mother was a member. And the NXIVM sex cult tapes everything, like Scientology. They've got tapes, they've got videos of all the members doing counseling sessions. They've got so much blackmail material on her and her family that whatever she finds, they can shut her up in an instant. So I don't trust that program one bit. They're putting the perfect patsy, government patsies in charge of it that they can control. We're not going to get anything from that government project.
Hey, guys, I got to roll, but I just wanted to jump on. Appreciate the invite, Alien Addict.
No
keep
worries.
up the good work. And as we said, we will get on your show in 2022 to early, like maybe January, and we'll get that.
I thought you were going to say 2020 then. I'm like, are we going back?
I could use a guest spot too, Mr. Cousins. Just saying. I could use a little bump. I'm down here in the UFO ghetto trying to make something happen and help a brother out.
Ollie's been waiting for what? How long did you ask us to be on the show? You've been waiting for a few years.
I have an idea for Steven. Steven, we'll get you on Third Phase UFO Report, and then they'll put it on Third Phase UFO of Moon.
Sure, I'd love to do that with you guys. Absolutely,
boys. I appreciate you so much. When's the doc coming out? When can we expect
I think it's slated. Well, I know mid February 2022. And,
am I getting a signed copy?
Oh well, you'll get
a signed email. Signed email. Come on.
We'll get you some exclusive clips that you can share on your channel, some nice poster art. Huh? February 8th it's going to be out. February 8th. So, everybody will know about
I want
that.
a poster.
Look forward to that. Yeah.
It's only 6 weeks away.
Boys, good luck. Good luck. And have a Merry Christmas, both of you.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Blake.
Thanks, Rich,
happy holidays.
for being there. Goof on. We'll see you soon. And the other Rich, we've never met, but you take care. And then I call Steve Cambiate. And I call you the Kylo Ren of UFO.
Yes!
Yeah, I get that all the time. It's
I am your father shirt. That's funny. Yeah, I see the connection now.
I wish that guy did Cameo because I want to get him to do a cameo that says, like, you're watching Truth Seekers and wear sunglasses like me.
So, hey,
Ollie, good show, man. You guys are great.
Wait, don't go. Hold on. Hey, before you go, I know you got to go, but I was going to call Goodall today.
Yep.
I don't know. Did you email it to me? All of a sudden, I can't find his phone number.
I'll get it for you. I don't know.
Isn't that wild? You emailed it, right?
I sure did.
Yeah, I can't find it. And I did a search on it and everything during the show.
Well, we'll get it to you right now. Hey, you guys have a good
Thanks.
one.
See you later.
Soon. Happy holidays, everybody in the chat. Thanks for the support. Support Ollie at Alien Addict. He's doing good work over there. You guys be safe.
Good night, boys.
Good night, Grace.
I had to ask because I wanted to get Jim Goodall on, and I was going to call him today.
You're having Jim on?
Yeah, I was supposed to call him last week, but
I've never interviewed him, but I've talked to him on the phone like 3-4 times, and we couldn't ever get the interview. He's a busy guy. I love his book on the Blackbird. That's my favorite airplane. So, he's got a whole book on its history, its construction, the people behind it, the pilots.
Yeah.
It's an amazing book if you like Blackbird.
Yeah, and his connection with Bob Lazar and stuff. Pretty wild. He was there when Bob Lazar got...
he sent me pictures of him and his son in Bob Lazar's house and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
Like, just hanging out with him and other friends. So
Goodall's one of the good guys.
Stephen, we were just discussing your favorite subject, Lou.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. First of all, he got caught lying to the New York Times. Some people say embellishing, giving inaccurate information. I say, if you say I ran this program, we had a $23 million budget, and then that turns out to be that was a different program, not the one that you were in or involved in, then that's a lie. Somebody misled the New York Times. Now he's misleading everybody on this television show, and it's very clear that he's misleading people about fake meetings that never took place. And so I'm not a fan. And he's a counterintelligence officer. I don't trust the government. I sure don't trust a former counterintelligence officer to bring me the truth about UFOs.
Do you not think that another counterintelligence officer accusing another counterintelligence officer of being fake is just a little bit?
Yeah, so then we got to say who's the liar, which one's the liar, which one's telling the truth, or are they both lying? Yeah.
Everybody lies. Everybody who's in the upper, like on mainstream media, seems to be a liar.
Everybody lies for a reason.
Yeah.
We've got Nick Pope, and it's like everybody introduces him as the guy who ran the British government UFO program that didn't exist when he was working for that. You know, like it's garbage, and it's the same thing that always drives me nuts when you hear stories of Bob Lazar and they say former government scientist. That's never been proven that he worked for the government or that he was a scientist. He doesn't have the education to be called a scientist, but this mantra keeps getting repeated over and over and over again in hundreds of articles, you know, media shots. Former government scientist. No, he's not. Former head of the MOD UFO program, Nick Pope. No, he wasn't. It's garbage.
Stephen, I'm really surprised that you managed to control yourself. By the way, Jennifer, thank you very much. Jennifer actually,
thank you, Jennifer.
Jennifer did some work for Stephen Greer. I don't know if you've seen the video with Jennifer in. Really might be worth getting her on your show. But
yeah, I love that.
A guy who went missing that worked for Greer. Nothing spicy, no murder. Well, but. You have to watch that.
Oh, I gotta hear that story. Yeah.
But anyway, thank you very much, Jennifer. I appreciate that. I'm surprised you managed to keep your what's the word I'm looking for? Cool. When it came to Stephen, you were very because the boys, the cousins, they're good. They're good friends with Stephen, and I know you're not a fan.
I used to be very harsh towards them. And then I have to put myself in their place and realize what it would be like if I was getting 100 UFO videos from around the world in a week with all the CGI out there and all the other stuff. So then I kind of give them a pass now and I say, yeah, if they're just posting the stuff and saying, what do you think? I don't have a problem with it. I think I had a problem with them earlier on when they more took a stance of what it was. Now I think they're doing it better now. And everybody deserves a road to redemption, and I can't be so harsh on everybody.
Well, we're talking so much about the boys. I'm talking about their because they
affiliation with Greer, and
they work very.
Yeah, and I'm not a fan of Greer. I did want to ask him, but I didn't want to be rude. If the next time he talks to Stephen Greer, he can ask Stephen Greer what happened to the $500,000 that Greer raised for his free energy device that he never produced.
That's a good question.
Why does he raise $1 million to make a documentary that any documentary filmmaker can look at and say that cost $10,000 or $20,000? That did not cost $1 million to make. Does he pocket the rest of that money? I think these are valid questions.
You mean the last one?
The last one he raised $400,000 to $500,000 for, and that was a hit piece on all his competition. So people gave him $400,000 to $500,000 to make a hit piece documentary about why all his competition are liars.
Yeah, don't forget.
And again, it doesn't cost $500,000 to make the level of production that he's making. It costs 10 or 20. 10 or 20. Even if you're hiring lighting guys and cameramen, and 10 to 20, and a decent editor, 10 to 20, you can make that. Not $1 million, certainly not, not 400 or 500,000, and certainly not for his previous projects. He raised $1 million each for unidentified and the serious disclosure one. He raised $1 million plus each. And I also found it suspect that he's got this little creature that he claims is an alien. He makes a documentary about it. All he had to do was wait a few weeks, a month max, for the scientists to finish their evaluation in the DNA study, and he could include the results in the documentary. But does he do that? No. He ends the documentary before they finish the analysis. That's suspect. He knew that it was a human. That's my opinion.
Okay, so while we're on the subject of that you're talking about the
Atacama.
Yeah. So Gary Nolan that was doing the research with Greer with the documentary Sirius.
Now he's doing
he's working with but he's working with TTSA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was TTSA that released the results of the saying that this was nothing more than a fetus,
deformed fetus, yes,
that had so many anomalies with it, which was
and when people, I understand that people love their heroes and all that stuff, and I don't want to be the guy to tear your hero down, but to me, when a former medical doctor is running around with a dead baby to sell a story about aliens and makes over $1 million selling a fake story about aliens based on a dead baby, I just think that calls into question a lot of his morality and ethics and motivation. if you're running around with literally with a dead human baby saying, "This is an alien, send me money," which is what he did, you know, I turn off. I think that baby should be put to rest, should be buried and let rest in peace. Give it some respect. It's a human being.
I agree. But also at the same time, Gary Nolan took that research to TTSA. Did he not?
Yeah, and I don't know that he had a right to, or what contracts that he had. You know, I would think he would have had to sign a contract.
But do you trust TTSA?
Of course not. They promised us a spaceship that would revolutionize the world, and they never delivered it. You know,
that's what I'm
saying. We've got two people I don't trust. I'm very distrustful. Let's leave it at that. I have trust issues with these people, but I think it's well warranted in some of their cases, right?
Yeah,
yes.
You know? Steve Justice kept his head well low after that.
Yeah, and that's another thing with Lou Elizondo and Chris Mellon. You know, they're making the rounds, doing all these media appearances. I haven't heard one person ask them what happened to all the TTSA money, what happened to the spaceship, and why did Tom DeLonge try to hide that he was the publisher of Bob Lazar's book? You know, it was me and a few other researchers that found out that it was Tom DeLonge's sister who registered this brand new book publisher website. So we caught him. If me and a few other researchers hadn't caught that, we would have never known that it was Tom DeLonge publishing Bob Lazar's book.
Tom DeLonge tried to hide that.
Well, I don't know that he tried to hide it, but out of nowhere came this new book publisher company that was owned by his sister, and the website for the publishing company publishing the book was registered by his sister. And we caught him, and he still hasn't commented on any of this, but now it's pretty well accepted and common knowledge that Tom DeLonge gave him a six-figure deal or seven-figure deal to get the book rights and the book deal. And then John Lear, interestingly, John Lear, who was there since the very beginning of this Bob Lazar story, he read the book and claimed that no way on God's green earth Bob Lazar wrote that book. It was written by a ghost writer because too many of the details were completely and totally wrong. So there's that. I don't know, but that's what Lear asserts that book was not written. Yes, I have, and there's many different inconsistencies in the book, especially surrounding his dead wife, his wife who died. You know, he claimed that he got married a few weeks after his wife's suicide, his first wife's suicide, and actually he got married before his first. He married a second woman, and then his first wife killed herself shortly thereafter, like a few days or a week after he married a second woman. And he got that detail wrong in the book, lied about it, or just, I don't know.
And there's many. He moved into a house as well, didn't he? He literally moved into
then him and his new wife moved into the house that the woman killed herself in. And, there's been a lot of suspicion about that suicide, but I've talked to, police.
Which you won't speak about much of it because.
It's a murder. It could be, people have asserted that. I don't believe that. I believe that she was despondent over his treatment of her. So certainly maybe he has some responsibility, but whatever.
Alien scientists got into a lot of trouble over some accusations he made about Bob with that.
Well, he came right out and said things that he shouldn't say. And he didn't use the word allegedly or it's my belief or any of that. He just literally said. Yeah. It is very suspicious death, though. This woman was young, but they were having financial problems, marital problems, infidelity problems, all these different things. So, she killed herself in her garage, I believe it was carbon monoxide poisoning. So, and while she's killing herself, Bob Lazar is in Vegas with his new wife that was an employee of both him and his first wife at the photo mat. Bob Lazar ran a photo mat. That's why when people call him a scientist, I kind of laugh. Like real senior staff level physicists don't run 1 hour photo mats. They've got better things to do.
I was aware of the book. Probably
you should read it. I mean, it's a good read if you're interested in the story.
I can't read. I'm dyslexic.
Oh, that's right. I forgot, Ollie.
I could get my wife to read it. If I read it, I would get about 8 pages in, and then I'd be like, "Can't do it." I'd love to be able to read a book from start to finish, but
maybe you could get it in an audio format.
Audio with Bob reading it. How would Bob read it, Rich?
Me?
I said, how would Bob read his own book?
How would he read it? This is my own book here, so I would read it. And it sounds literally just like me. I can't. I wasn't ready for it. I have to get my voice ready for that.
So Stephen, I was aware about 2 years ago about this book that was being published by Tom DeLonge, because there's a guy that called Osvaldo Franco who is quite a big investor of TTSA that comes on the show. He did tell me that, I don't know if it's as an investor he actually found out that Tom DeLonge was because I did say to him, do you not like get like a booklet with
yeah, like here's what we're doing with all your money.
But that's one thing, maybe. He knew that his money was going into a book for.
Well, Bob Lazar must have got quite a money deal, because shortly after that book deal and the book was published and available for purchase, Bob Lazar moved to, I believe it's a $500,000 sort of compound out in the middle of the Midwest, in the middle of nowhere, with like huge barns and garages and outbuildings and a nice house and a bunch of acreage. And I find that, and there was various reports that his other home was up for sale or maybe getting foreclosed on. Like Bob needed money, and all of a sudden he gets this book deal and he buys a $500,000 property. And Alien Scientist and others even located the property, showed it, and which I think is, I don't know. It's a little suspect that he bought a $500,000 property right after a book deal. So that may give us some indication about just how much money Tom DeLonge gave him for those book rights.
Hey, Stephen, do you follow Brandon Fugal from Skinwalker Ranch?
You know, I try to watch some of that on TV, and I just couldn't. I think it's highly dramatized, and yeah, I try to follow along.
Yeah,
the guy himself, I don't follow him on Twitter, no.
Okay, just curious.
Yeah, I think he's another interesting guy, but part of me thinks he can't be doing this for money because he's already like got so much money.
Yeah,
but then you think, people who have money don't stop. They don't go, well, I got enough now. If they have a good opportunity to make a few million on a TV show, so I don't know what to think.
The guy's so fake.
I would like to think that there is something to Skinwalker Ranch, just because I love the story. But
I know.
I haven't seen anything. Bigelow pumped so much money into that. We haven't seen any evidence, nothing. And he pumped tons of money into research. He had full-time scientists there.
7 years.
Yeah, 7 years. Where's the data? Where's the goods?
Never see it, he said. Because there isn't any.
But if you're one of the richest guys on the planet, okay, you've got all that money, but you're kind of into the paranormal subject.
Oh yeah, I'd be buying, if I had his money, I'd be buying Skinwalker Ranch. I'd buy the Alien Inn. I'd buy all the land around Area 51 and run tours, do sky watches. I'd buy any place where there's a lot of Bigfoot.
And you would be open about, hey, we're not catching anything.
Money. Yeah, you have fun with your money and do things that interest you. I mean, just like Ollie, you probably have some hobbies, right? You probably spend a little bit of money on something that you just enjoy, like alcohol or,
alcohol.
Whatever. These rich guys are the same, except, like, here's me splurging. Here's me splurging. You know what? I'm going to get an appetizer tonight when I buy dinner. Here's a rich guy splurging. I'm going to buy a yacht. They just have bigger splurges. So he bought a famous paranormal ranch, and I don't blame him. Good for him, But I'd love to see some proof of all this stuff.
But don't you think if you or I owned the ranch, we would be telling people, haven't caught anything yet, or I caught something. This guy's not giving us anything. It's got to go on a TV show. Fuck you.
Yeah, I suppose I would just run a YouTube channel, and every few weeks I'd give an update. Here's what happened in the last 3 weeks. Absolutely nothing. We got nothing on film. Nothing happened. It was quiet. Some drunks were out front taking pictures in front of the gate. That's what happens there mostly.
Brandon Fugal is a sociopath too. He sent out a Twitter video message. It was like this. It was like, "Hi, this is Brandon Fugal from Skinwalker Ranch. Hope everybody has a happy New Year and a Merry Christmas." I mean, there was no emotions. It was weird. It's like, Sieg Fugal! It's like, I can't stand that guy, man. He's so fake. But that's how I know he's in it for just his personality, for the ego. That's all it is.
I'm kind of disappointed today.
I know.
For a separate issue, nobody here asked me about Jimmy Church forcing my videos down from YouTube.
I was afraid.
I have a prepared legal statement on the advice. Wait, I got it right here.
Is this on Twitter? Because I don't look at Twitter too much.
Yeah, it's on
Just a
Twitter. I
scoop.
put the.
Well, Ollie, if you watched Truth Seekers yesterday, he explains what happened.
I didn't watch it yesterday. I was at work.
Jimmy
And
Church struck him.
I have
Give us it.
Hard Strike.
Give us it.
Content removed by Fade to Black, the Game Changer Network Incorporated. And in 2 of the 4 of the claims, I used a 50-second clip in a 2-hour and 30-minute video. I cited fair use verbally. I had a fair use banner playing at the bottom of the screen, and the video description had a fair use disclaimer in it. So we're gonna pursue it with the fair use defense, and we'll see what happens. But I'm supposed to say this: on the advice of my attorney, I cannot publicly comment further on content removed by Fade to Black, Jimmy Church, and the Game Changer Network Incorporated. Even though I can tell you that all 4 of those videos were me reporting on my investigative journalist work into his business dealings. End quote. There we go.
I don't think you can do that.
Well, we're gonna see. I'm giving it to the lawyer. I'm not. I'm just like, yeah, this is something ain't right here, because in what kind of a world can the subject of an investigative journalism report force the videos reporting on his shady business dealings down from the host? I don't think that's going to paint him in a very good light when I win and the videos go back. People are going to want to see him even more. So he gave me a Christmas present.
It's always scary when you get that.
Yeah, because you have to certify. You have to certify
Yeah.
under threat of perjury or prosecution for perjury. You know, and that's another thing. There's some real problems with the legal filings that he did. He basically made completely and totally factually inaccurate statements in his legal filings, and he had to certify under penalty of perjury that the filings that he are filing is true and accurate, and they're not. There's
Right.
factual errors in them, and he's making claims that are completely easily proven factually wrong. So, you know,
Because it's someone else's video, not his.
yes.
right?
What happened was I shared a Billy Carson video from Facebook Live, 50 seconds of it.
Jesus.
And later, so Jimmy Church took Billy Carson's Facebook Live video and uploaded it to his YouTube channel. So in his filings for the strikes to YouTube to my channel, he claimed I shared his YouTube video when I did not. I shared Billy Carson's, so he doesn't even own the copyrights to the rights that he's claiming to strike my channel. And everybody knows you don't strike. He didn't have to strike me. He could
Right.
No.
he could have filed a claim and given me an opportunity to trim that 50 seconds out. He didn't do that. He filed legal threats with YouTube to force my videos down.
Jimmy, I would like to say you are a man, okay? But if you're a man, take those strikes back and take the fucking criticism. Don't be a bell end.
Yeah, every one of those 4 videos forced down.
Stevie, you probably don't know what a bell end. You don't know what a bell end is.
No, what is
do
a
you?
bell end? I got to look at this, you English guys.
It's a dick.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
be a
yeah,
dick.
yeah. Certain
Oh, okay.
part of
It's
one.
a bell
yeah,
end.
yeah,
It's a
yeah,
dick.
yeah.
Looks like a bell.
It's the bell on the end.
Oh yeah, it
It's a
is.
dick.
Penis.
Yeah, I don't. I think anybody that does copyright strikes, unless it's like you've blatantly got a channel that is copying your channel and trying to be your channel.
Mhm.
Stop.
Or, you know, like let's say somebody takes your 2-hour documentary you produced and worked very hard on for a year and just uploads it to their channel. That's grounds for a copyright strike.
Right.
But even not a 50-second clip
Of 3
in
hours.
of 2.5 hour show.
Get some balls. Get some balls. You know.
It's going to backfire because
Yeah.
people are going to want to see what's in those videos more now. And by the way, we have a very good distribution network, so they're still on Rumble and Odyssey and other video sites, and the views of them have jumped up by 300% since he did that. I'm sure that when this is resolved and my videos are put back on YouTube, they're going to get 10 times the views they would have if he would have just taken it like a man, like you said, Ollie.
That's when you make a new video about it and you repost it.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. And
Yeah.
let's not forget that I also have a mask of him and character of him and his whole set. So going forward, I'm never going to share anything from Jimmy Church. I won't share 10 seconds of a video of his. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a reenactment with me in a mask doing Jimmy Church, whatever he's saying.
That's
And
funny.
he can't do anything, and it's funnier.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
better than the actual guy.
Yeah.
But can you do the voice?
Buy my coffee. Yeah, I can try. I don't know. He just has a deep, stupid voice.
Have-
I did
have
a
you
pretty
bought-
good job of it before.
Have you purchased that coffee?
Mm-mm.
Everybody likes my coffee.
I'm
Something like
intrigued.
that. I'll get
I'm
it.
intrigued. I'm intrigued about this coffee. I'm going to buy a sample.
It's regular coffee. It's a Shop Mart coffee. You can buy it at the gas station.
Just rebrand it.
Yeah, that's all. It's not good.
Well, I don't know. I haven't tried it, so I won't
It's-
say it's not good.
Uh,
I don't know.
I'm going to say it's not good because if Jimmy Church is branding it, it's not good.
I know
In my
people who like
opinion.
it. I know people who like it though. So,
I know. I'm just being a dick.
well,
I
God
am a
forbid.
Richard.
Exactly right.
If I'm hawking coffee every 5 minutes to keep my show going, somebody shoot me. You know, because I don't even know how people listen to his show. It's like every 5 minutes there's this big long commercial. That and the shit yourself tea. Oh, crap yourself tea. Sorry
This is-
language.
This is why I don't want merch because
Nobody wants to buy tea that makes you crap
Right.
yourself for a week straight. You know, and he's running those ads. And between the coffee and the shit yourself tea, I don't know how anybody survives for 2 hours of a show with him. But yeah.
Well, Jennifer here. You know, thank you, Jennifer, again. But she's on your side, mate. You know,
Thank you, Jennifer. And I'd like to talk to you about being a guest on my show. I would love that. I want to hear your story.
Well, she did do a little bit of work for Stephen
That would be fun.
on the Anacana. Little...
Ooh. Well,
Yes,
so did Emery Smith, too.
Oh, really?
Well, there's videos of him like with it when they were doing pulling the samples from it with Emery Smith and Stephen Greer.
Yeah.
Things. So I would love to hear her side of the story though, because she probably's got some inside baseball on that, and I would love it. I want to hear it.
Jennifer Siami.
Yeah. Jimmy, just remove the strikes. Stop being a dick.
Be a man, bro.
Yeah.
You know, it's.
I'll even buy some of your shitty coffee if you remove those strikes. I promise.
There you go. There's a deal.
That's a resolution, right? That's like a settlement. I'll
That's
buy
an
some
olive branch, yeah.
crappy coffee. You take the strike down. But I will say that you know, I really shouldn't have talked this much about it. But anyway, like, you know, we've got a legal defense, and I was told by my lawyer that he is 100% confident that we're going to win, and he will be, you know, the YouTube is going to be forced to put those videos back within a certain time frame. So he's got a little bit of a window to decide whether he wants to escalate this current conflict at great personal expense to himself of time, energy, and financial resources. Lawyers aren't cheap. Or whether he's going to release the claims or just let the claims time out and then I win. Either way, I win.
So I'm glad you've come on, Stephen, because it's kind of, we'll have this discussion now. So we've both had Anjali on our shows.
Yeah, that was an adventure.
We've both had Ryan on our shows.
Yeah, people don't know, but when Ollie had her on the show, I was driving to a cabin in the middle of the mountains, and on one side of me was a river, no shoulder, and the other side was rocks for 200 feet up a mountain. And he's going, Stephen Campion, come on the show. And I could not find anywhere to pull over. I was desperate to come on, so I'm sorry I missed it. But you did a great job, I thought.
So Ryan was thank you. Ryan was supposed to release something on the 6th. However, he did say to me, I'm not going to release anything until I've got a buyer for this. Wait a second, Rich. I spoke to him probably a month ago. He says, if I get a buyer, I'm not going to release it. Am I right by saying he was going to release everything on his channel on the 6th, or he was going to send it to me? I have had nothing sent to me.
Yeah, I haven't spoken to him. The last communication I got from him, though, was an angry lawyer letter. He apparently is suing Charlie Weiser for defamation of character, and he sent me an angry lawyer letter saying that I had to preserve all my communications and all this other stuff. And I just want to say that, like, I'll go to federal prison before I release any private communications between me and a source. I just won't release them.
Yeah.
I don't care if I don't care if you have a court order or subpoena. lock me up. I'm not divulging private communications between me and a source. So, and then I told him that, and then I never heard back from him. So I don't know what's going on with him. Wish him the best, though. I wish, Anjali the best, too. People ask me about her to this day, and I say, I think she's a nice lady. I'm not completely convinced her story is true, but I think she believes it. I think she had a DMT trip. That's what I believe. That's my personal belief. And but I wish her the best. She's a real nice lady, and I feel bad for how she got sort of beaten up and wrung through the ringer, but she did bring it on herself, making these fantastical claims.
She sure did. Yeah.
This is what people do, though, in this field. They make the claims.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there wouldn't be a field to talk about.
Yeah.
You know?
And you know what's so funny is it's amazing how many people jumped all over her story because finally we had something new to talk about. And that was enough. Just the fact that it was a new story and not a 20-year-old regurgitated 10 times, repeated story that somebody else has a new slant on. It was a new story. So
June 25th was the 180-day dump. After that, it got quiet. Then a week later, she comes out with this thing in front of the Capitol. Her press op, or whatever she calls it, her presser. People were dying for something.
So does that not seem like it's being cleverly done?
Yeah, to me, I was just going to say, it seems like they are filling in the slow time with something new.
Well, let's throw these UFO dorks some fresh meat, right?
Right.
You know? Yeah.
They'd been active for a while on Reddit beforehand.
Yes.
Yes,
she had.
For a good few months before it started, maybe about 6 months, and then it kind of peaked with that.
Yeah, and people sent me those Reddit posts and said, you should cover this. And I said, I don't know, this is stupid, But then later I changed my mind because I looked into her background and said, well, she's telling the truth about where she worked and being in the military. That's interesting. I thought she was lying about everything, So
no,
don't you think it's
checked out for that?
Now things have morphed though, and now it's turning into like she's almost retconning it that like maybe it was an astral experience, maybe it was like a metaphysical and not so much a physical experience. Where first she said she physically met with the aliens, Now there's a backpedal of sorts. I don't know.
Or it's bullshit.
Yeah, good.
Cheers,
point.
Ben, mate.
Thank you, Ben.
I dated his sister. It's a true story.
Wow.
Maybe
you should give him the $2.
Did you not think that she? I know you say she's a nice lady, but
yeah,
are you telling me that you believe that she believes it?
I believe that she believes it. Yes, I've had a few conversations with her off air that were very convincing. That convinced
she's
me.
Convincing.
She convinced me that she truly believes what she claimed happened to her truly happened to her.
Yeah, but she's a good salesperson.
Yeah,
I've worked in sales all my life, and
she worked on like pattern. What is it? She worked in the DIA on projects, disinformation and
personalities.
Personalities and all this sort of mind, psyops and stuff. She worked on that, but for the purposes of manipulating foreign governments.
She was in counterintelligence.
Counterintelligence, yeah. So if she can manipulate foreign governments to do certain things, then she could probably sell you anything,
Don't you think it's funny? Right after Lou takes a nice little hiatus, she comes out of nowhere. Another counterintelligence person we should trust.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I don't know. But she does have a history of talking about interacting with aliens since she was a child.
Rich, go back to when did she come out? When did she trigger this? What date did she trigger this? And Rich, what date was it on Reddit?
Oh geez, I couldn't tell you.
February, earlier in the year.
This
year.
It
was February.
Right.
Yeah.
So we get.
She was on another show another podcast talking about this stuff.
And I hate to rehash this, but it's the first time.
Yeah, go ahead.
That Steve, we've all been in the kind of like same vicinity. it seems to me that there is some truth to this wanting to be the next Twilight Saga. As if I'm looking from a sales point of view, I'm looking from somebody who wants to sell a story to test the waters to see how, because she could go to a publisher and the publisher wouldn't give a shit about.
Well, I asked Ali, I asked a publisher that I know, somebody that publishes books, and I said, if somebody came to you to publish a book, are there metrics that you use to make that decision of whether you'll go forward with publishing the book or not? And one of the new metrics that all publishers are looking at is social media reach. Right. In other words, if this person has 100,000 followers on social media, there's a good chance they're going to sell 100,000 books or more. Yep. It's like they take the safe bet. Whereas if you've got 2,000 followers on Twitter, they're not so sure, and they're going to have to pump more into marketing the book and advertising it. But if you've got a built-in fan base like that, they'll take half the money. The author takes half the money. Everybody wins, you know? So they definitely look at that social media reach and interaction. They'd be looking at those Reddit posts. They'd be looking at her. You know, I got to say, I think to this day, that's the most people I've ever had in my live chat. When I interviewed her, there was 565 people or something like that. So to just come to a show that most people hadn't heard of and listen to her be interviewed. 600 people. That's a lot of people to show up to hear her talk.
How many people just put a number out there. Let's play a guessing game. How many people that was in that live chat would buy that book?
I'd say half of them, at least. It would seem to be about 50-50. Half the people in the live chat were like, she's full of crap. And the other half were like, give her a chance. It's her experience. You don't have a right to tell her experience isn't real. They were really supportive of her. So.
Yeah. So what are you going to say, Rich? Sorry.
You do know that she's had a go at writing science fiction. And you also know that she's had a go at being an actress as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So she's been branching out in terms of wanting fame. To me, that's the common denominator. I think she's just after an audience, personally. That's
I agree with you, Rich. Absolutely.
Yeah.
100% she's after an audience. 100%. So where's this leave Ryan?
Nowhere. He kind of disappeared.
He did, but so the last messages I got from Ryan, it's like almost like, you know, I don't need this. I generally, a lot of people don't like Ryan in this community. They think the guy is full of shit, but he's after a story.
He's trying to tell a story to TV, yeah.
Yes, so he's after the same thing that Angelique. I think they're both after the same thing. So he's after getting a story out on how she's pulling the wool over people's eyes, a big faker in this community. And I've looked at it from both sides, and Ryan's gone quiet, and I'm thinking to myself, is he waiting to see, as a good chess player, you'd wait to see the next piece being placed. So he doesn't give. I mean, I've spoken to Ryan. We get along quite well on the phone.
Yeah, I did too at one time until he threatened me with like legal stuff, and then I was kind of like, ugh.
But here we go here. So as a good chess player, you learn where to put your pieces. He might be waiting for the next move that Angelique does. So if everybody's saying he hasn't got this interview with Wayne, maybe what if he does? But what if he's holding that back because he's waiting for that next move? If he's
like poker, he doesn't want to show his hand.
Why would he just give me or put it out on his YouTube channel? Because he did say that he would, if nothing came of it, he would give me exclusive rights to the interview with Wayne at the ranch. But as somebody, if that's his job, that is his job, that is his life. You know, I've had a video conversations with him on he was out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, me too. Out in the middle of nowhere in his RV. Yeah,
sure. That's his job.
Mm-hmm.
So
sure,
he's done that work. He's done that groundwork to release that just to us, just to prove something. means nothing to him.
Yeah, he might be waiting for a paycheck to release it. Or again, this could be like a poker game. Let's say that he has overwhelming evidence that she's full of crap in the form of this interview, as he kind of claimed. Maybe he doesn't want to release that until he sees what she's going to do, because you don't want to show your hand. If you've got a winning hand, you hold it close to your chest and you put on your poker face, right? And you let them bluff or bet before you show your hand, right? Could be.
Sorry, mate. I've been saying all night that I dated Ben's sister because I thought it was one of my
somebody
mates.
else. Oh yeah.
I've not dated your sister.
Well, he gave you another $2 to say you didn't bang my sister. That was somebody else's sister, Ollie.
It's the wrong Ben. It's the wrong Ben. Sorry, Stephen. Sorry, Stephen. Sorry, Ben.
I gotta get going, Ollie.
Yeah, I gotta go. Ollie.
Have you got a show, Rich?
It's right behind me.
Oh, there
Mythology.
we go.
It's a game to them.
And I have my Christmas dumpster fire. Anybody in the live chat, you can come over to Truth Seekers. Just put Truth Seekers in the YouTube search bar. Look for me, the strange guy with the sunglasses. We're going live in 24 minutes at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're just going to have a fun Christmas party sort of thing, and anybody can join the show, call into the show. It's our annual Christmas dumpster fire. And last year's got so crazy that I had to pull it from YouTube because there was nudity, all kinds of cursing, drug use, drunk people sleeping. Oh, somebody just came into the live chat, and I was like, "Whoa!" And I had to pull them down because it was like, "Look at my stuff," you know.
Was it a penis off a JJ?
It was male parts.
Oh.
Yeah, and nobody wants to see that. So it might get crazy tonight. I don't know what's going to happen, but everybody's welcome to join in the show. And thank you, Ollie, for finally having me. I'm sorry it took me so long.
Mate, I need to have you properly. We need to do a full
interview.
Let's
do it.
We need to get you on more often. But no, I appreciate that. Rich, when's your show?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. It's in 93 minutes.
93 minutes.
About an hour and a half. 2 hours.
It's
9 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, and mine's 7:30 p.m. Eastern. So
are they overlapping?
No, I'm going to try to end mine before his. I've been trying to go early because we do have a lot of crossover, and people emailed me like, "Why you do your show the same time as his? Because then one of you, I have to watch it in a replay, and I can't be in the live chat." So
what time would you rather go?
7 p.m.
7 really?
p.m. Eastern. Yeah.
Then I'll stay at 9. Because I was going to drop it down to 7.
Good. We're like the David Letterman and the Johnny Carson, you know.
Exactly.
I'll have the early, you have the later, and we'll
we could always switch it if we have to.
I'm sure that we both get better live audiences when we don't interlap. I've looked at the numbers.
Oh, I know for sure we do about 50 extra people.
So who's going first?
Me. I go first.
Okay.
Yeah. I always go first.
And I watch
everything.
And I like watching it while I'm setting up my show.
Yeah, and I like getting done and jumping in his chat. There's a lot of friends from my show, and it's good. It's good.
It's good.
Cooperate like that because we do both get better shows when we don't overlap.
Yeah, it's true.
You know? I could tell sometimes. I'm like, where is everybody? And then I look, Rich is on.
I've done it too.
We both have been moving around our times, so yeah, that's okay though.
All right,
we'll work it out. It's great.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you in 20 minutes.
Rich is about the only guy I would cooperate with, too. Everybody else, I'm like, I'm going to stream what I'm going to stream, dude. What do you want? Because I've had other shows that were like, oh, you know, I was doing my show, and, you know, I'm sorry. Sometimes I got to blow over yours, you know. I got to do it when I got to do it.
You know what?
Kids, you know.
Yeah. Like, and if your content is good, then they'll come and watch you.
Or they'll watch the replay. So I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm going to bounce on out of here. Nice meeting you, New Rich. I'm going to call him New Rich forever. That's the Rich I know, the UFO Rich I know. You're the new UFO Rich. And Ollie, thank you for having me.
Anytime, mate. Anytime. You're welcome here anytime.
All right. Thank you, guys. Happy holidays. I hope you have a great one.
Yeah, you
Merry
too.
Christmas, folks. Merry Christmas.
All right.
I'm going to say good.
Merry Christmas to all in the live chat and to all a good night.
Good night. God bless people. Mind the bugs don't bite. This is Alien Addict. Make sure you subscribe. Hit that little bell in the corner.
It's Truth Seekers on YouTube. Help a brother out.
It's Goofon on YouTube.
I'll see
I
you
don't have
guys
any-
later. Have
See
a
you in
great
20.
night.
Stephen, I will add the yeah, I'll add his
He's
link
in.
below. Good
Sure,
night.
sure.
Good night. Good night, folks. Good night. God bless. Merry Christmas, one and all, and God bless
Hare
everyone.
Krishna.